Welcome traders. The euro dollar is in a downtrend, but the other dollar pairs seem to be building triangles. This and more in our video today. First of all though, be aware that this video is shown to a global audience but may not be suitable for everyone. Please visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact the appropriate entity for more details. Also, please be aware that trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered higher risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. Let's start with the euro dollar. It is in a new downtrend on lower time frames, but if we look at the weekly chart, of course, this is still in a large correction. So the question is price going to finally break below these bottoms right here on the left and make that new downtrend? Or is it going to bounce one more time and basically expand the correction and triangle? This could be an A, B, C, and this could be the D. Price could make one more leg up for an E, after which I would expect the downtrend to continue indeed and break below these bottoms here at 104, 105. All right, so that's the main question. Now, if you look at the Keltner band, basically, price is very close to it. So that's a very important bounce or break spot. If price with a weekly candle breaks below this Keltner, I do think there is with a strong candle, I think there is a good chance of a breakout and a downtrend continuation. If, however, the weekly candle is showing it's relatively small, maybe like here, for instance, back about a year ago, or if there's maybe a wick or even a bullish candle around here, 107.50, then I think there's a stronger chance that this is going to be a bouncing spot than a breaking spot. So I'm going to keep an eye on how these weekly candles behave towards this support zone at 107, 107.50, 108, and the Keltner. And also, of course, these weekly pivot points will be interesting. Monthly pivot points will be the same. It will be interesting to see how price responds to this S3, as you can see. So that's just basically the long-term view. The H8, the 8-hourly mini chart here, that's part of the MT4 Supreme edition that Admiral Markets offers with 100 plus extra features. One of those extra features is the mini charts. And you can see that we have a bit of a bullish candle already here and building another one. So this could be a bouncing spot as we speak. Now, however, I do want to add that even though it could be a bouncing spot on a lower time frame, these candles are very bearish. So what I'm expecting basically at the moment is a bit of retracement of last week's bearish candle. I'm expecting price perhaps to go to the pivot point, for instance, or the R1. And I'm expecting a turn to fall down to S1 or S2. And then it depends. Will there be a strong close this week or next week? There could be a continuation. Or, as I already said, basically, or is there going to be some reversal weekly candle? Then I would expect a bounce. So I'm not sure at this moment how price is going to respond in this zone. I'm open to both. I'm just going to follow price and let the price decide by looking at these weekly candles. What I do expect, because of this bearish breakout here, of this triangle with these solid candles, I think there's a decent chance of a retracement and continuation this week. All right, so will it happen? You never know. This is what I'm planning, but I'm going to basically analyze and see when and where I think that could be interesting. So let's take a look at 4-hour chart now, or maybe even the daily chart. Strong candles, as you can see here, daily chart. Now, 4-hour chart, we are seeing a bit of continuation, maybe a bit of divergence between these bottoms that could indicate the basically retracement that I talked about already. So price could stop here, pivot point R1, R2, maybe even R3. Any of these basically could be the turnaround for one more push down. All right, so looking at the hourly chart, let's take a look there. Basically, we can see that price is retracing a bit. If it breaks to this bottom, of course, there's a good chance of follow through down to 108, 107.50, but it doesn't look like it's doing that. It is bouncing, as my wave analysis already indicated this morning, by the way. And I think that we are going to see either a bear flag basically like this, or maybe even a bear flag sideways like this, right? In that case, this is a bearish correction. A break would indicate a continuation lower. Or if price doesn't stop at the pivot point or just stops, very shortly, then it's probably going to build a zigzag up to the R1. And I'll be looking for price to turn at these resistance levels. So from a lower time perspective, I think basically that it's more interesting to look for price to complete its correction and look for turnarounds at 109, 109.50, 110. We're going to dive into this a bit more on Tuesday. We're going to look at bounce and breaks and how to trade those when price arrives at pivot points. We'll be looking at intraday pivot points, weekly and monthly pivot points. So I hope to see you in Tuesday's webinar at 8:45 Central European Time, 6:45 GMT time. Wednesday, we take a look at strategy at lower time frames. Nenad has his usual recap, of course, on Monday. Wednesday, he takes a look at session trading. And Thursday, Nenad and I together take a look at why software and how software can boost your trading. All right, moving along with the analysis. Pound USD, I think, well, last week I said it's not so interesting because 2 weeks ago I was saying it's a great downtrend. Indeed, it declined a lot, 1,000 pips or so. Last week, no, indeed, or last 2 weeks has been consolidating. That remains so, actually, and that was totally true. It was good that we were cautious with this cable. At this moment, I think actually the cable could still be correcting. We see pretty sizable triangle at this moment, and I think that the triangle could continue, especially if price breaks through this resistance. So now I'm not jumping for joy to trade it to the upside. I do think there could be a breakout, but it is an entire triangle at this moment. So I'm going to be cautious. I do think that if price pushes here, makes a bull flag, for instance, let's say price breaks above PP, pivot point here, hits R1 and then makes a bull flag, then I think it could be interesting to trade it to the R2, for instance. So these are intraday time frames. I'm looking at the 30-minute chart. If price gets up, all the way up here, there could be resistance spots for a larger downtrend continuation. For the moment, though, I think it's going to stay in a triangle, at least for today, probably this week. Eventually, though, I do expect the pound dollar to continue with the downtrend. Dollar yen basically broke out of this downtrend channel, and it's making a small little triangle here after the breakout. So to me, this looks like break consolidation. I'm expecting one more break for continuation up to 105, 106, perhaps even further, right? At 107.50 and higher. But let's take it one step at a time. For the moment, I see break of the downtrend and I see consolidation. I don't see a higher high as yet because this level has not been broken. So I would really like for price to break above this level so we get a higher high on this daily chart and more of a confirmation of an uptrend. This is already a higher low. Would be nice to have a higher high. It looks like price is pausing at this moment, and I think we'll get that higher high. What could happen though is that price is basically continuing in this consolidation, continuing in this triangle. If you look at the hourly chart, that could happen. Price is already here. It could be an ABC, and I'm expecting price to stay in this triangle. So if it reaches this triangle here, bottom, or this S1, it could be bouncing spots. Alternatively, could be interesting to look for longs, in my opinion. Or if it breaks above resistance, there could be breakouts here as it basically goes above the trend line and the pivot point, or if it hits R1 and makes a bull flag, and then move up to R2 and R3. Those are upside. I'm bullish on the dollar yen. I'm just waiting for basically the right moment. I don't think now is a good moment, but if it breaks or bounces here, it could be better. Also the S2 even, right? Basically, I don't become bearish unless, or at least I lose my bullishness if price were to break below these bottoms, basically. Otherwise, I remain bullish and just waiting for price to finish this correction. All right, last but not least, the Aussie was good trading here and here for upside. Had a few good trades there to the upside. I was talking about that in the live webinars as well. Now, price eventually made one more push up. Talked about that too. That there's a if there's a bullish candle here, there's one more push up probably with the small space, and indeed small space, but then turned back down as expected. So it was a pretty good read on the Aussie here, and from here. And from here, so it was good trading up and down. I think at this moment that Aussie is bouncing at the 61.8 fib. You can see pretty strong candles here, strong bullish candles. So looking at the hourly, you can see already some good push here. So what I'll be looking for is a bull flag, and once it shows a bull flag and breaks that resistance, I'll be looking for trades to the upside. Now, will it break the bigger consolidation? As you can see, there's a pretty big consolidation, a ascending wedge. Maybe this time, yes. It's bouncing here a bit earlier than before, as you can see. It is showing higher lows. So perhaps this time it could finally break, not only break to the R2 and to the R3, but perhaps even now really substantially above these 77.50 levels. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. The daily chart will give us some indication how these daily candles are behaving as basically price moves up, but it could finally happen. So anyhow, if the hourly chart is showing some kind of bull flag, I'll be interested in trading it to the upside. If today's daily candle is bullish, for instance, I'll be interested in looking for longs this week, for instance, as a retracement of today's candle and continuation. So looking at the hourly is possible. Looking at this daily candle is also possible as a swing trade, perhaps. So that's my view. I'm bullish at the moment on the Aussie. An alternative could be that price hits the S1. That too, I think, could be a good spot to look for longs, because it's basically hitting support, trend line, moving average, close to the Keltner, and these pivot points. So for more, of course, take a look at our weekly webinars. Hope to see you in those webinars, and wish you, above all, great trading. Take a look at Admiral Markets here on YouTube, Facebook, or of course the website admiralmarkets.com for more analytics and all the materials that you can find there regarding MetaTrader 4 Supreme Edition, those pivot points, the Keltners, everything you can find there. And of course the Admiral Markets Zero to Hero project video series, 20-minute videos throughout entire October. So you can still sign up. Wish you great trading. Talk to you soon. Cheers.